As I had mentioned just a minute ago, we have also implemented an enterprise service bus here at OG&E, and it is indeed our primary engine for integrating different applications both logically and data-wise. So we try to move all of our data both inside and outside of the company through our ESB. Of course, there are two major components: the messaging infrastructure, which is critical for moving the data, and it also has a business services logic piece of it that's very, very powerful, that allows us to implement real-time transactions for doing just a number of different activities. We've constructed it as a very highly available environment in the 4 nines plus capability, because it's kind of at the center of everything that we do. So if our ESB is down, we don't move data. Again, it provides real-time data movement. Data can be targeted to one or more places. So if we have a piece of data that needs to go to 4 or 5 different locations, it comes through the ESB, and it does all of that for us. And it also does really terrific data conversions for us, because as you can imagine, data coming in from all of these different applications and sensors and sources will be in lots of different formats, and we convert all of that into our logical utility data model, and our ESB is the tool that we use that. It's got a really great graphical user interface for quickly providing this development capabilities. We have built a brand new integrated operations center that includes both the logical view of an integrated operations center plus a new office area. Not a new building, but we took part of one of our buildings and built a brand new operations center. IBM did provide us some consulting services for the basic requirements and a readiness assessment for our IOC. And we're centralizing all of our monitoring and incident management capabilities within the IOC for across the smart grid and all of the associated technology and resources involving that. And all of that comes into our NetCool environment. It provides us a capability to really drill down and understand exactly what's going on so that we have situational awareness, and we have just in the last 3 or 4 weeks completed our visualization tool that includes all of our distribution grid, and it shows distribution grid outages, it shows meters, it shows all of our network devices, DA devices. All of that is projected onto a map, both street map and geographical map. We have weather overlays in it, etc. And in fact, we have 72 different overlays that we can select from to provide us exactly the information that we need, and either at a high level or drill down very specifically to move around with the data. We built the IOC right next door to our distribution control center that, of course, is intimately involved with our distribution management solution. And we also coordinate with our incident command center when we have major outages as well. And, of course, the DCC does monitor our electric grid for us. This kind of gives you a visualization of the roadmap for our IOC. That includes, of course, putting the IOC in place, monitoring all of the network devices and system devices, visualization. As I said, that's in place right now. Auto ticketing piece is in development as we speak. Again, we're using our ESB to integrate between Tivoli and services management solution. And, of course, we have lots of things in mind for visualization, so we have that up and running pretty smoothly right now. But we're going to be adding lots more to that over time, including automated asset update and putting lots more detail. One of the really cool things that you can do is you see a device that is having difficulties. It goes into the red. You can click on it. You can see exactly how many events are associated with that device. You can click on one of those events and get some detail. If you then want to pop over to the NetCool screen, you click a button and you can pop there. You decide that it needs a ticket associated with this event. You can do a right click and a ticket gets created for you automatically. So it's a pretty slick implementation Of course, trying to do all of these things, running so many projects in parallel, having so many new people come on board with all of these new technologies, and everything trying to be done kind of not necessarily all at the same time, but certainly trying to keep things coordinated. We had to be very careful about how we approach this. So we put in place what we consider a pretty cool best-of-breed solution development lifecycle environment. So it includes methodology to help us to manage the development, review, approval, and testing of all of the solutions that we've been developing. It, of course, has a centralized repository. Things don't stay on people's laptops. They go into the repository. You can see exactly what state a particular project is in, whether it's in review process or high-level design or low-level design or testing, or whether it's been deployed. We have automated workflow process in place because, as you can imagine, there will be lots of different people in lots of different organizations reviewing the development of this. So we have automated workflow in place. And we had quite a training session to get everybody up to speed and bought in on the standards and processes and templates. And one of the things that we've really tried to drive home on this is just because you have a process doesn't mean it has to be onerous. It has to be flexible, and it has to fit the scope of the project, and we think we've done a pretty good job at that with our SDLC process. So you can really see what the deliverables are on that we've had in our SDLC process. And the SDLC process kicks in at the solution conception phase and goes all the way through the end to the support phase of this. So there have been lots of challenges, as you can imagine. Organizational history is a big challenge, but that's in any organization or any business. That's no different than the utility business. We've had just a wide range of advanced skills that we've needed to bring on board to do all of this development and integration. There's been new staff, many points of integration. And one of the big challenges there is we have to keep the end game in mind and not let ourselves go down a path that's not going to lead to the end game that we have in mind. We've had a heavy dependence on many different vendors. That's certainly been a challenge as well, coordinating all of the vendors and different ways of doing business. New technologies that have come into play, that's been a challenge to integrate into the existing organization. And one of the other big challenges with our Tivoli implementation is understanding the network and the resources that we were monitoring. We had a complex network to begin with, but it's expanded and gotten even more complex over time. We're going to continue to focus on our IOC and continue to build it out and enhance the processes. We're going to hopefully be doing some business services monitoring in the not too distant future. Expanding analytics is a real key to driving those additional business benefits out of our smart grid environment. Continue to use the technologies that we've had in place, including our ESB, integrating our AMI system with OMS, continuing to use all of the benefits from our distribution management system. It's been just an absolute blast. We've had a really good team in place here doing all of this work at OG&E. We've seen some really great benefits so far and expect to continue to see additional benefits as we move forward with continuing on with our smart grid activities.
Thank you, Joel. And we put up here a resources slide. This will be useful to all of you because we are sending you an email link that has a link to download a copy of the slides, and these links will be live within that, as well as links to answer many of your questions. There's a question from Avnesh, from John, and from others, and it's around the business case. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of benefits you've received, what kind of cost-benefit options went into your rate case? There's several questions around that.
One of the primary driving motivations for doing all of this is to not require OG&E to build any more power plants. That has been a huge factor, the primary driving factor in all of this. As you know, it's very, very expensive to build new power plants, and that in and of itself, I think, is enough motivating factor to proceed with this. But in addition to that, of course, it also provides capability for our customers to save energy. They actually save money by signing up for this program. They get to understand exactly what's going on within their energy environment in their home that they didn't have access to before. And of course, it also provides additional operational capabilities to OG&E, from understanding exactly what's going on in our network, being able to keep the network up and have a more resilient network, and will allow us to reduce truck rolls and lots of other activities along those lines over the next years.
Anesh wants to know if you considered using the cloud for any of your activities.
Yes, that's something that we continue to keep in our minds. Some of the activities associated with the smart grid environment lend themselves to cloud environment, and others don't. So that is something that we're considering for some of the future things that we have in mind.
John wanted to know if you could just give us a high-level view of your testing plan and efforts.
Again, our SDLC process is the thing that's driving the process that we use. So we have a separate test group that we have set up to provide testing for all of our activities. The test group use our business requirements as the baseline for their tests. They put together their testing environment and test plans and test activities based on those business requirements, and drive through the test to make sure that what was developed actually meets, from a testability perspective, exactly what the business has stated that they need. We've brought on additional contractors and other resources to help us with some of those testing activities. We certainly drive all of that from our OG&E members. We've also brought in some external security experts to make sure that we have everything locked down tight from a cybersecurity perspective as well.
Thanks. Matt wants to know if you could say just a little more about how your project team is organized. Do you have executive sponsors? Do you have across different departments?
Yeah, absolutely. We have executive. So let me back up for just a second. One of the interesting things and really keys to what we've done here at OG&E, we set up a separate smart grid organization that is sponsored by our retail energy vice president. We have not been part of our CIO team up until recently. We're in the process of merging back, but we very intentionally set up a parallel organization to focus only on smart grid, including our IT team when we needed to integrate with our existing applications and solutions, but all of our executive sponsorship and management was driven by a parallel team. But again, we have had a roadmap in mind, and the roadmap indicates that we will all move back into our CIO's organization by the end of this year, which we will do. So that's been a really valuable organizational approach that OG&E has taken in this activity.
Well, listen, with two people as knowledgeable as Ed and Joel, we could go on for a long time with questions and keep learning, but we are going to have to draw the curtain. So here is contact information if you want to reach out to anyone one-on-one. It just remains for me to say thank you to Ed Rossi from IBM, thank you to Joel Webb from OG&E, and thanks to all of you for joining us, and hope to see you here again very soon.